Representative Justin Fleming's career reflects a mission-driven life. He currently serves in the Pennsylvania House of Representatives, 105th Legislative District in Dauphin County, where he was born, raised, and lives with his wife and 2 children. Representative Fleming's impressive trajectory had its roots in very humble beginnings. He grew up in an impoverished community. His family relied on public housing, free lunch, and food stamps. These resources and their hard work served as a bridge to launch Representative Fleming and his family into the middle class. The quality public education Representative Fleming received at Susquehanna Township High School well prepared him for college, and through subsidized loans, he was able to attend Millersville University, graduating cum laude in 2002. From Deputy Press Secretary of the Pennsylvania Emergency Management Agency to Information Specialist for the Pennsylvania Department of Labor and Industry, to Press Secretary for the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture, to Director of Government Relations for the National Association of Social Workers, Pennsylvania Division, to Director of Government Affairs for the Pennsylvania Psychological Association, where I had the privilege of working with him, to Director of Government Affairs for Pennsylvania Partnerships for Children, to the House of Representatives in the 105th Legislative District, Representative Fleming has demonstrated what a life dedicated to public service looks like. Representative Fleming's primary efforts have focused on expanding mental health care, increasing community resources, and building a strong public education system for all children in Pennsylvania. He is a champion for social and economic justice, aiming to reduce income inequality and provide working families with access to affordable health care. In June 2023, Representative Fleming was awarded the Public Service Award from the Pennsylvania Psychological Association in recognition of his significant contributions to public welfare through the field of psychology. In October 2024, Representative Fleming was a recipient of the Government Leaders of the Year Award, presented by the Harrisburg Regional Chamber and Capital Region Economic Development Corporation at their annual Catalyst Awards ceremony. This award recognizes exceptional leaders for their dedication to advancing positive change, creating opportunities, fostering innovation, and building a brighter future in the region. Representative Fleming is resilient, passionate, dedicated, and an advocate for communities. He is relentlessly optimistic and believes deeply that effective government can change lives. Where Representative Fleming started in life to where he is now is a shining example of how addressing the needs of lower resource communities can ultimately benefit not just the members of those communities, but far beyond. Representative Fleming, thank you for your life of service, thank you for your excellence, and thank you for being here today to provide our commencement address. Your dad is watching in.
Dr. Logan, your check is in the mail. Thank you, everybody. It is an extreme honor and privilege to be here with you today. Graduates, faculty, family, friends, and honored guests. As Dr. Logan said, I'm State Representative Justin Fleming, and I'm so honored to share this special day with you. And let me know, are there any Griffins in the house? There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Once again, I want to thank Dr. McCloskey, Dr. Logan, and our mace bearer, Dr. Rothery, for... You can clap it up for Dr. Rothery. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. For inviting me to address you all today. Today we gather in celebration not just of degrees earned, but of dreams realized, of late nights endured, of perhaps too many drinks consumed, and of commitments honored through every twist and turn life has thrown your way. You, graduates of the School of Graduate Studies and Continuing Professional Studies, have demonstrated a kind of perseverance that speaks louder than any degree ever could. For some of you, this path was expected. But as you heard, if you're like me, you take so much pride in your achievement today because it might have been improbable. As you heard, I was born in Dauphin County near Harrisburg. I've grown up there and lived there all my life, relied on public assistance, food stamps, public housing, free and reduced lunch at school. And back in my day, when you had a lunch ticket at school, you'd have to hand it over. It was a green lunch ticket. I don't know if any of you had this experience, but you had to hand it over to the cashier at lunch. And, you know, there's a certain stigma that comes with that, right? It's almost like you're stamped. You're one of the poor kids. Everybody knows you're in line. Now it's, you know, there's some protection. I've got 2 kids, and now they've got your money on a card. So maybe not everybody knows how broke you and your family are. But that was my reality. And I'm grateful every day that social safety net existed, because while that was a temporary condition for my family and I, those investments made me who I am today. Receiving an excellent public, secondary, and post-secondary education, as you heard, also changed the trajectory of my life. Similarly, you chose to pursue your education not because it was easy, but because it matters. Many of you balanced careers, families, responsibilities, and still found the courage to say, I am not done growing. And at Chestnut Hill College, a place rooted in the values of faith, hope, and love, you discovered that learning is not simply about acquiring knowledge, but about transforming the world around you and the world in which you live. Today, as you step forward as scholars, yes, but also leaders, healers, innovators, and advocates, you have been shaped not only by textbooks and lectures, but by the resilience you have shown in every sacrifice, every late night paper, every moment you chose to keep going, every moment you had to study instead of be with your family, every moment you had to study instead of going out for a drink and watch the Phillies game or the Eagles game with friends. You did all those things, no matter how hard it was, when it would have been easier to just quit. And I have to acknowledge our student speaker. What an amazing story. You talk about perseverance. I've made a couple of pro wrestling references today, so I'm just going to continue. There was a wrestler called the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and he often talked about hard times, right? And my story is, you know, biographically, I had some hard times. Man, the resilience you have shown is nothing short of amazing. So thank you so much for sharing. Chestnut Hill's motto, as you've heard already today, Fides, Caritas, Ciencia, faith, charity, knowledge, is not just etched into the tradition of this fine institution, but by virtue of your perseverance, it is now etched into you. You leave here with more than the skills to build a career. You also leave with the calling to build a life of meaning. And again, while today is a day of celebration, I would be remiss if I did not illuminate some threats to what a life of meaning truly entails. If there is one message that I can leave with you all today, it is this: whatever you choose to do, professionally or personally, please be mission-driven in service to others and lead with love. We're living in a time when people are losing faith in their institutions, whether it be government, the church, and indeed also higher education. There seems to be an increased focus on making money and getting mine as opposed to serving others. Since I am in the political arena, I will talk a little bit about the things I have observed from a political perspective. The approval rating of Congress right now is at an all-time low. And I believe it's because the two-party system encourages a one-on-one battle. But they've lost sight of the real purpose, and that is serving the people. This is a major reason why those now who choose to register to vote, the largest percentage of those who are registering are now unaffiliated. That trust is emblematic, or that lack of trust in our two-party system is emblematic of that fact. Moreover, Americans are increasingly isolating themselves from one another. Because of new technology and other societal changes, people aren't joining social clubs and gathering with one another like they have in the past. This is problematic because the increased isolation is leading to a lack of empathy. Simply put, we have stopped caring about one another, which is antithetical to the values you see in these maxims and antithetical to Jesus' teachings and the teaching you get at a Catholic institution such as this. This lack of empathy, unfortunately, is being manifested in public policy. To cite a few examples, instead of giving visas to refugees based upon their circumstances, the current presidential administration is giving them to the highest bidder. This administration is throwing the economy into chaos with needless tariffs, and, most near and dear to my heart, threatening to slash the social safety net that has served me, and I imagine so many others, so well. The threats that we've seen to higher education, the judiciary, diversity, equity, inclusion, and frankly, the rule of law are not normal. This is not a normal time, folks, and we need to sound the alarm. The United States Congress becoming a wholly owned subsidiary of the executive branch is not normal. This is not the America that I grew up in. I know it's not the America that you grew up in. But now is not a time to shrink from this moment. It is a time for all of us to rise and fight and demand better for ourselves and future generations. That fight can be in your careers or your daily life, but I hope you stand up for what you believe in with everything you do every day. I'm so proud once again to be here along with you, in part because Chestnut Hill College, despite the time we're in, is still leaning into diversity, equity, and inclusion. And that is something to be proud of. That is something to be proud of. Take a look around this room. This is the United States of America. This is our country. Different faiths, different ethnicities, different races, sitting side by side with a common purpose to celebrate these graduates here today. This is beautiful, and this is the America that I want to see every day going forward. Chestnut Hill's fight for DEI means standing up for the rights of every student, every employee, every faculty member on this campus, regardless of race, ability status, creed, religion, sexual orientation, gender identification, or immigration status. You are making it clear at this institution here now, commensurate with the grand traditions of your founding mothers, the Sisters of St. Joseph, that all are welcome here at Chestnut Hill College. And if you find the current climate unacceptable, contact your federal elected officials and tell them that the path we are on is not tenable and that it needs to change. wherever your journey leads, whether it be in a classroom, a boardroom, a hospital, a nonprofit organization, or an entirely different path, you carry with you the deep understanding that education is a force for hope. And we need your hope now more than ever. Our world needs your wisdom, your compassion, and your steady voice saying there is a better way. And as you turn the page to this new chapter, I implore you to please stay curious, stay courageous, and never forget that the journey you are on does not end today. It only deepens. And at the moment, I will leave you, in spite of pointing some necessary things out, I will leave you with a hopeful note. I believe, and this is the reason that I do the work that I do, I believe that America can still be the most successful multiracial, multi-ethnic, multi-religious democracy in the history of the world. I have not given up that hope. We need to take collective action to lead with empathy, love, and respect for one another. Thank you so much for listening to me today. It is again my honor to be a small part of your life on this momentous day. Congratulations, graduates. The world is waiting for the light you are about to shine and all the good work that you will do. Thank you and God bless.